Hello and welcome back to Getting to Know Your Google Gmail or G Suite Inbox. I'm Mike Vanderpool with Valley Apps, and today we're going to be talking about this little gear button. A little gear button is the settings that controls your inbox and controls Gmail. So we're going to focus there. And if you are looking for something else, please check out our channel. We're kind of walking through this application by application. Just for some insight, we've been doing this for 15 years and we're putting this together not only for your group, but for everyone else on the internet as well. So having that said, let's talk a little bit about how you manage the settings inside of Gmail. It's real simple. We want to go over to your far right here and hit settings. From there, what we want to do is drop down to settings. Pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to walk through this. Consider this the back end, if you will, of your inbox. So a couple different things here, pretty basic stuff, English, right? US, if you happen to speak or in a different location, you can change that here, but more than likely you're probably in the US, so leave that alone. Maximum page size, again, you can drop this down, and that's just going to show you, how many emails per page, and you can do whatever you want there. It's standard default of 50. Some people like more, some people like less. The undo send, I've spoke about that in one of our first video tutorials here, and that is basically allowing you to bring back that email after you've sent it. Now, really, it's not bringing back anything. What it's doing is holding it in cache before it delivers it, where it allows you to bring it back and adjust it. So again, it's default. I think I changed this probably at some point to 30. I think it might be defaulted to 10. But if you want the most time to reconsider your send, drop that down here. I'm going to skip over a lot of these things. Again, you can read them, hover over them, see what happens. But I want to just touch on most of the things that may not be on or that you may need to adjust. So please feel free to walk through this stuff. So Smart Compose, I mentioned to you, these are on by default, and that just simply means that Google is going to try to predict what you're saying. So if I'm like, hey, Hal, and it might show up on gray, say, are you? And you can actually hit enter and you don't have to type that. So I really like that, especially when I'm on mobile, but you can turn it off here. Conversation view. Remember we talked about threading. We talked about that, how they stack on the subject line. No matter when they were sent, they're going to keep them together. And you're going to see a little icon on the side of the message that might say, 2 or 3 or 4. That's going to give you the idea. But if you want each message to come in individually regardless, you can turn that off here. So folks that might be used to like how Outlook does it, where it does not thread, I think the newer versions have started the thread because most people like it. You could turn it off here. So that's something to mention. You could turn it off there. And remember, you can come back here. If you don't like it, turn it back on. It's not going to create anything permanent. All right. So the stars. This is something that I use a lot. Again, I mentioned to you that I'd be talking about this. Excuse me. And I pull in a couple of these so that I know what I need to do. And these are the stars on the side of the emails. So basically, it's defaulted to use one, but I actually use these for different reasonings. There's different philosophies out there on organization. That's probably not what I'm going to do in this course, but know that one means it's urgent. One means it's taken care of, one means it's waiting on, and the other means it's good to go. So that's something that you can use. There's a lot of different iconology you can pull in here, and I'll show you this once we get through this section. But this is where you would set those up. And I also probably have a following tutorial that talks a little bit more about how I use these and how I use some of these advanced features, but I want to keep this basic as to things that you might use. Down below, this is a big one. This is your signature. So this is where you could set up your signature. Okay, you can add in images, you can insert, links. So I might want to link this or something. We'll link it to Valley Apps, so www.valleyapps.com. Okay, all right, so it's going to link into our account. So I'll let you do that there, but this does not set up by default. You'll need to come in here and actually hit this and then type in the signature you want. Lastly, here on this page is the vacation responder. So this is a response that you can set up if you are out of office. So you can turn the vacation responder on. You can put the subject message, whatever you want. I will be out of the office, and so on and so forth. Put your message down below. Hello, please contact, so forth, so on. Now, once you have that there, you can have it only send the responses in to the people that are in your contacts. So let's say that it's current clients and they're in your contacts, they'll get this message back. But if it's a new client, an inbound kind of that you've never talked to, maybe you don't want them to know you're on vacation, so you would select this option. Now, most of the time, to me, uh, I leave these both off because I want it to go to everyone. And then the last one is only send a response to people in Mike Vanderpool. Again, this domain is called MikeVanderpool.com. So this just means it's only going to send a response to people that are inside of your domain and not anyone outside. So internal people would know you're on vacation, external people wouldn't. Of course, you can select the dates here in your last day. You can keep it open-ended. You can turn it on. And then you want to make sure on all these things you hit save. I'm not going to hit save just because I did change some things, but you want to make sure you hit save. Remember, the last tutorial we talked about labels, all right? Now I'm switching over rather quickly because we got to get through this, but the labels here, this is actually where we set up labels. We can either set them up and we can also remove them. So if you don't want these here, these on the side, right? You can remove the label very easily here, but you can also come in here and manage them, change them, and it's just a way to do it from the outside. So the inbox, again, there's different types of inboxes. I showed you that in one of our tutorials, but not through this part. Remember, we talked about enabling these categories as well. This is just where that's managed. Accounts is interesting. This is where you would set up what we call aliases, or you would set up other accounts that you may own. So if you have a personal Gmail or a personal Hotmail or whatever, Yahoo, you can have a filter in here. Won't go too deep into that, but contact your admin or us if you're one of our clients. We'd be happy to walk you through this or set this up for you. There's plenty of information here, but pretty much leave us alone unless you have a desire or need or you have an alias. And what I mean by alias is, so hello is supposedly this person's first name. So hello at MikeVanderpool.com. But let's say they also wanted to get email from another source or group, we would set it up here for you. But again, pretty advanced. Filtering and block addresses. This is going to show what's being filtered. As you remember, what we set up a filter here, and it's just going to show you what that was. Apply label Mike Vanderpool. So there's been a couple other filters set up. This is going to show you what's there, and also anyone that you've blocked. So I haven't blocked anyone here, but you could manage it just another way. Forwarding and pop, again, is probably something you won't use unless you're forwarding this email out or you want it forwarded to a different person. So you could actually forward all the emails. But you could also do it with a filter, right? So we could have it come into your inbox with a filter and forward out if you just wanted individuals. But if you wanted your entire mail to be forwarded, you could forward this out to another program or another platform. So that's where you would take care of this. Add-ons. Again, add-ons, we don't have any installed on here. I'll do another one to talk about Marketplace, but know that there's third-party application developers like us that develop advanced features that can add on or bolt on to Gmail and interact with them. Things like ERPs or CMSs, signature applications. Really, the sky's the limit. A lot of cool things there. Won't spend too much time on this, but this is where you would manage those. Chat, whether it's on or off. If you don't even want chat and you don't like it, and it's taking up real estate, you can turn it off right here, and then just remember to hit save. Remember, these things can be turned on and off. It's not removing it forever. These advanced features are something I'd like to talk about. We'll go into another very advanced discussion about templates, but basically you have the ability to have pre-composed templates that you could have fire off via filter, or you could actually have if you're doing repetitive messaging. So you always write in the same thing, you could actually use templates. So I'm going to, you could turn that on. I'm just going to show you a couple ones that I use. Right side chat. I mentioned to you, I like my right side chat to be over here. So I'm going to enable that and hit that there. And those are really the ones that I like. So I'll go ahead and save those changes. So it's going to save under advanced. Oh, and now I don't want to make sure that's off. All right, so we're going to go back in here. And you'll see this turned over to the right side chat, right? So that's one of the things I enabled. So let's go back to the settings. Once we're here in the settings, we are now on offline. So offline's unavailable right now. If you guys want offline, actually this is our account. We just don't have it on. But basically what it allows you to do is have online access to your emails, or offline, sorry. offline access to your emails and your Drive documents. So what it's going to do is create local copies. So I use this sometimes when I'm on a plane. Again, this isn't my main account, but on our main account, we have this enabled. So if I'm on a plane that doesn't have Wi-Fi, I'm still able to read my old messages and get to my own documents without a internet connection. So really slick. And if it's not turned on, we can turn it on if you're our customers, or you can Google if you're a Google admin. Go ahead and Google how to do that. Themes is just again a way to set different themes and backgrounds. I don't use this. I'm so used to not using it. But again, this is your default, but you can change it to your heart's desire, make it look kind of cool. Let's do this one just for sake. Why not have a ninja background, right? So again, more of the aesthetics there, and some cool stuff to play with. But my name is Mike Vanderpool. I'm with Valley Apps. We were talking about the settings. And again, I think the most important things to recap here underneath your general would be your signature. So you're going to want to make sure you set this signature up, make sure it's on and saved, and then know how to handle your out of office, right? So make sure your out of offices are set up. And then other than that, unless you have a need to forward stuff or to add in other accounts so that maybe your Yahoo filters in here, or you want to look at some of the advanced features like I have done, like move my right side chat over here, or templates. Again, we'll have a video about templates coming out soon. And then going from there offline, that's a great resource to have. Again, we don't have it turned on, but yeah, great thing to do, especially if you travel. And then lastly, if you want to look really cool, hit the themes button. Again, Mike Vanderpool. We'll see you later.